Hi, Fizia. How are you
Hi,
doing?
hi, Oksana. Yes, fine. How are you, darling?
Pretty good. There's a lot of things happening. My morning started with a video that I watched. More than 1,000 Russian soldiers were walking across the field with the white flag given up by Kherson.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any water left, food left. Like nobody cares about them. Basically, those who are supposed to be in charge just left. I think they're scared of Ukrainians, the most motivated army in the world right now because we are protecting our land. Then another thing about this Lukoil guy, the Russian guy who's in charge of this Lukoil corporation, right? Like he fell out of the window. Yeah. And you know why he fell out of the window? People who
Yeah,
live
it
in Russia,
fell.
Ukraine, he
They fell
knows
out.
that he was the first one who tweeted or posted on Telegram also that he was against the war. He didn't want, he disapproved that Russia attacked Ukraine. He said it was wrong and he was for pro peace. I'm surprised Putin gave him this much time to live, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Probably found the right time to push him out of the window. And most people kind of like either get poisoned or, fall out of the window or fall into their own pool and drown, and they always like in the news, strange death. Well, people should know how it happens. It's a KGB, that's what they do. Putin is a KGB person. He went through the school, that's what he knows. He's in charge, he's like a monarch, like a tsar. He's in charge of everything in his country. He's the owner of every person, and every person is a slave to him. Even if he gives those people money, it's just the way for him to spread the money and keep them. Pockets.
Mm-hmm.
We call wallets. They're
Mm-hmm.
wallets full of money that belong to Putin. Whenever he wants to take the money, he kills the person, takes the money. Because
Exactly.
that's what it is.
Many oligarchs they died in the recent since the war started and even before. What a coincidence that all these oligarchs with the beautiful family they starting to kill each other, suicidal. They fall. They have very freaky accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it means to be under Putler, because he is definitely a totalitarian politician, so a dictator. Oh, so I read some comments in some, again, freaky videos, the people pro Putin, which are definitely very delusional. Because they says yes, because the NATO, because this, because that. Fair enough. Everybody, I say many times, Oksana, all these leaders, for me, they should be exist anymore. Because these leaders means war, mean greediness, mean thirsty of power, okay? Look what's happening now with Trump, all these guys, oh, they are completely failures. No
Right.
more, no more presidents, no more one man that dictated the life of millions of people. We need communities like he used to be, that like that, not monarchy. Because this is monarchy, guys. It changed only the names, the way they are dictating your life, but it's the same monarchy. The king, the president, first minister, the dictator are all the same. And the
Yes.
comments, under the comments, it says no. Putin was democratically, he was voted by the Russian people. Says, come on, are you
All the
here?
Russians say, I never voted for him. When
Exactly.
they're
Spent two
asked on
years
the
in
streets
charge.
and interviews, or the Russians interviewed on the streets, he said, This is not my leader. I never voted for him." You know what I mean? See, that
Yeah.
that's what they do. This guy who's fascist guys like Putler, they take over the information, field of information. They disinform you. So people don't know. Even this mission that they sent to, a group of people they sent to nuclear Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant to prevent the nuclear
Mm,
disaster. 100 members of this, it's called in Russian or Ukrainian MAGATE, this organization that supposed to keep track of nuclear plants. Uh,
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
100 members of that organization have Russian Federation passports. What does it tell you? He's agents, Putler's agents.
Of
Putin
course.
sends agents everywhere to control every aspect in every country of the world. That's how it's done, people. You should understand. And it's connected to the information you receive on YouTube. Telegram is completely Russianized. It's completely taken over by Russian propaganda. Everybody knows this in Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, all the former, USSR countries like Kazakhstan, Moldova. Everybody knows this, like because, and you know what they do to female workers at the plant, the Russians? They rape them. And you know what they
Oh
do to
God.
male workers because they manage to text their family members that they literally torture them. They torture them with no
Look,
food, no water. You do what I want, I hit you with the gun when I want you to make you suffer. They also take them to some rooms to and like ask them questions and stuff through torture, as that's what KGB does. First, you have to go through emotional fall by, cutting your fingers off and stuff, like they've done to our medical workers that came back from the Russian detention. But I mean, I know people say, well, I'm spiritual. I'm trying to stay in high vibration. But then you believe somebody who comes on some spiritual channel and who acts very, you know how you deceive people? Every psychologist would tell you that. I listened to a lot of lectures of psychologists. Propaganda machine works, and people trust people who are very sure of themselves. If you and me were sitting here talking in a very loud voice, very like sure of what we're speaking about, we can lie anything to people and they would trust us. The matrix is composed that way, structured that way. The more you lie, the more secure and sure of yourself you come across, the more people trust you. That's how it is. And I would rather, that's why I always pick people who actually not who are doubting what they say, who are doubting what they think or what conclusions they came from to, because it can change. Those people to me are the most precious people because they're actually sensitive, they have emotion, they have feeling. They're not all about money and selling their whatever they're selling sessions or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're Because we're always learning and we make mistakes because the human body is made that way, also structured to be making mistakes, and it's normal. If you're sure of yourself, you're either a stupid person or are just like trying to fool people and sell some product or some
exactly.
service.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how we can do right things if you don't know the wrong things? We are projected to use our consciousness. This is why the consciousness decided to be split in two, good and bad, woman and man. Everything is duality, and we are a duality.
right.
Everything is white or the black, whatever is the opposite. Is just obviously I'm just making an example. So what if we try to be in the middle? But we need darkness. House we need light. Because darkness, the darkness, you understand, is dark only if you have the light in front of you. We can't live only in one form. So we need the darkness to understand, to protect the darkness up. Basically, help us to understand what is the danger, what is the fake, what is the matrix, what is the everything that is not good for us. So we need, like it says, we need our enemy next to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
true.
mean, yeah, it's oh, you know what? I want just a little, let's say, with brackets. Come si dice parentesi in Italian?
Oh,
A little,
in oh my gosh, I forgot.
it's
And
okay.
the same in English, I think.
Yeah,
We
with black.
always make this with the
Yeah. By
fingers.
the way, I mean, is I don't want to, is I'm changing a little bit slightly subject. When you was talking about dictators and the people that impose the power, my
Hmm.
son has just come back from the shop and he showed me a picture. And so I was like, oh, he said to him, "Don't talk to me, I'm recording." And then Dominic, can you show me the picture again? Can you show me that picture you made to this car? There was a car. I don't know why the reason.
Parenthesis.
It, which one? Our neighbor. So show the Oksana the picture.
If,
A car in front, and you when you was exactly talking about dictators, yeah. Look what is come back. It do this to me.
uh
It was a car. Check if it's possible.
I have to change the
Let me.
background too. It's hard to
Yeah,
see that way.
just a second. I check the background. Change the background.
It's parenthesis in English
So,
too. Come in italiano, lo stesso.
see,
Oh wow,
you can see.
swastika on the car. Unbelievable. Yeah. You know,
Why?
I had a Russian client like that who had swastika on his ceiling, and people in the comments were fighting with each other, like, look, this guy is pro Hitler or whatever. And then the other one, no, this is an old Russian Slovak sign. For like those times when you believed in gods and all this, like whatever there was. So as I that's why they created this duality, because you can fight over everything, because the dark forces are, we call them dark. It's just simple. It's AI. We are inside AI computer generated system, and everything is generated by taking our light and blending in it with their technology and projecting images around us. So if they took that sign, and even if it was a good sign of the black sun sign or whatever,
I mean,
there's a lot of explanations what it means. They can turn it into darkness. They can turn it into light. They can turn it into. You can give it any definition you want. You can
mm-hmm.
make it bad or you can make it good. And you can also use it to make people fight. One group of people believes it's good sign, another group of people believes it's bad sign. Here you fight together.
I
War
mean,
again.
he just told me, says, I can't believe this is the car just parking just behind our where we live, and here in UK, if they can prosecute you if they see
Uh,
you doing something like that. It's not allowed the sign because the sign is definitely, remember the Nazis,
especially
the
at this
Nazis,
time
yeah.
right now.
Especially even for me, is like it took from that
From it,
sign.
it, it's one part of it. Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's the same. When you send me the video how they at schools they are the kids they are wearing uniforms with the flags singing. This reminds me the Nazis or when in Italy with the fascism what they teach to sing to the leader like they do in North Korea is just and people still defending these freaks. I can't believe
And
it's so evident why you can't see. Why you can't see these things?
it's true. And did you hear the Dugin's this ideologist Dugin? His daughter was killed and a car exploded in Russia. He's the one who says Ukraine never existed. All the Ukrainian people should be killed and tortured and killed, because they are, just this country should not exist. This culture should not exist. So basically, they are acting like fascists against
They
the
are.
nation
They're
of
just
Ukrainian
monsters.
people. That's exactly what's going on. And I mean, 557,000 kids were deported by force to Russia, and they killed their parents on purpose to take them away from their parents and deport them to Russia. And now they have a very easy, they passed a law for a very easy adoption process. What do you think if the whole country hates Ukrainians and it's a Ukrainian child? What do you think they're gonna do with a Ukrainian child? Probably torture him, probably sell him for organs, or rape him every day or her. I mean, that's what they're gonna do. Or turn that child into a slave for the family. I don't know. These people are insane because they announced to the whole world we want the return of Soviet Union. Russia is superior race. Russians are superior race. Ukrainian language, Ukrainian nationality does not exist. And and people still go. I mean, I told you about this guy who was on this channel. I don't want to say the guy's name because he's too popular and the channel's too popular, but he says that, well, we have high gas prices because all our European money are going to support the Ukrainian dictator and in his war. Ukrainian dictator. And so basically, and he's highly spiritual person who gets like 100,000 audience of people who subscribe to his channel, who listen to him, and whom he literally conveys a message that we should not be. That's he's all pro material stuff. Obviously, how he says he's spiritual, there's zero spirituality in
Oh,
what he
well,
just
people
said.
like that, not spiritual at all.
So he can care less about kids getting killed in Ukraine with Russian bombs, but he would rather have low gas prices.
They always say the
Maybe
same
it's so.
sentence. I mean, oh, what about the kids on the Donbas? Killing is not right never is justified. Even if somebody kills another a child in the street and the parents go to kill the other child, it's still wrong, guys. How
Yeah.
you can always justify that death?
But
It's
see
not
how the Russian propaganda works? They try to convince the whole world that Ukrainians were bombing or killing their own people in Donbass for aid. It's like a mantra all Russians who pro-war say. But Ukrainian was bombing Donbass people, their own Ukrainian people we've been bombing for 8 years. Yeah, no, and then my Georgian clients kind of laugh about it. They said, my this one Georgian guy said, Oksana, every time Russia goes into any country, they always blame that country for bombing and killing their own people. But it wasn't happening before they set their feet on the ground of our country. Well, nobody was killing here before, but after they moved into our country and attacked us, all of a sudden Georgian people are killing Georgian people.
Yeah,
He said the same old lie. I can't believe the world believes it.
exactly.
Plus the satellite images and all of this. Ukrainian people got the money together, donated, and got a patent or whatever it's called, for 1 year of using this one satellite system with a high definition to prove the world then when a rocket goes where it's going from, like usually Belarus or Belgrade, which is a Russian city, go straight to Ukraine. And after this, you say this is a Ukrainian bomb attacking Ukrainian people. Wrong. We're going to show you images. And besides, British, American, intelligence agencies already know that. They already have images. Why do you think they support us? They wouldn't have been supporting us unless they 100% knew that Russia attacked us, because they totally did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple example for the people they can't really understand because only people that, again, the people that we call the lions of the keyboards, leoni da tastiera, basically is if you are a landlord or a landlady, you have your own property in your land, you rent your house or land to somebody that is not from your country or from wherever, from race, culture, wherever you want, because it's your place. You can do whatever you want with your house, even to rent with to aliens. Okay, which so Their neighbors, they don't like your aliens in your house because they just don't like them,
Mm.
or because they are envious of their style of life, or because definitely they want your house and they are using these aliens or these tenants to take your land away or your house. So when you guys will be invaded your own place, then try to justify the invaders. Okay, and this is what Putler is doing. I'm not against Russian people. I'm not against anybody. I am against of these freaks, these monsters that shouldn't exist anymore. Is old fashioned. It's all we have it years and thousands of years of what the damage, what the crimes they did. These freak people. Okay, it's time to say stop. No votes anymore. Don't we stop to vote in these freaks? Sometimes you can't even your vote doesn't matter. Nothing doesn't have any value. So no, these people are leaders. The pyramid, the big eye, the New Order, the Bill Gates, the Soros. Guys, wake up! Who's behind the pharmaceutical organization? The army, all this disease pandemic, all these few bunch of freaks that they control the muppets of presidents to do because this is about money. So enough, because this world is about to die because of us, or the world is about to shake us, and we deserve to extinct because of what we're doing is just with all these thousands of years. This the people, or I can say us, we don't understand that we are the also we are the sabotaging our life, believing still in this freak. It's like you know that this is a lie, you know that this is fake, but it's okay, doesn't matter, and we carry on to believe to a lie. Wake up, or just
Unless it touches
stop
them
to.
directly. Ephesia, unless it touches them directly. See, original Earth was designed that the humans would just, you would just go out, drink water from the leaves, eat berries from the bushes, no money system, nothing to fight for. Everybody can sleep on the grass because it's always warm out. That eliminates all these problems. The body of a human was genetically manipulated and designed to be a parasitic, to have a parasitic relationship with the earth. We're basically parasites on this artificially designed in this artificially designed reality, because I know it's 100% artificially designed. Everybody runs the same program. Even dealing with realtors, dealing with anybody, they're all trying to be super nice and always find something to be friends with you. But then the minute they feel like they need to work extra hour for you because you didn't like the place, they first send you a list of places and nothing worked out, they would just say goodbye to you because all they want is money, and they would pretend forever to be your friend. And this is everywhere. Look at the friends that you thought were your friends. Even, in different situations, before the war, after the war. Look at all the people who closed up their channels recently. And I heard a lot about why they closed their channels, and people with tarot cards, other, sessions and stuff, because they made enough money to be able to close a channel, period. Or they stopped doing the tarot cards because, they made enough money to stop doing it and just to start living for themselves, because that's all they needed it for. I'm not saying that we should all start doing it for free. No, because like I told you before, right? I mean, I go
Mhm.
to outside and my kids want ice cream. Do I ask the guy, ice cream man, who's from Mexico himself, doesn't earn much money? Do I ask him to give me a discount or give me ice cream for my kids for free? No, of course. I give him $20 because unfortunately ice cream costs $4 or $5 per child, so it's 15, and plus water, whatever. But that's a deal. It's about the program that you let run. It kind of, you let the program run yourself. You become totally fake. You become an actor, like Shakespeare said, the whole world is an, yes, it's a stage. It's an artificially created stage with artificially created bodies. The only thing that is not artificial is our souls. But to understand how everybody works and how your soul, how everything works, everything is upside down from what it's supposed to be. Because we have this extremely strong survival effect, in action all the time. And for just to make our body live and feed it and give it water, give it shelter, give it food, we would lie and lie and lie to get the money. Isn't it the truth? Isn't it the truth that most spiritual channels that hundreds of thousands of people watch and sometimes million subscribers that they have, they're complete liars? I mean, I just got to this understanding recently, because you start seeing through people because they start acting kind of funny under certain circumstances recently with this economic changes, because the economic changes also are a good thing. Maybe high gas prices are a good thing because now they came up with a program that we want in 5 years, we want most people have Tesla cars that don't use gas. Have you ever thought about this?
Oh
Have you
yeah.
ever
Mhm.
thought about that this is such a tiny price to pay? Because if you feed that Hitler in Russia right now by being neutral, because you want to be in high vibration, you're just staying neutral. You don't want to talk about the war. No, no, no. I'm not even going to look at the post about it, because that's the only way to be in 5D. That's not how it works,
Why they
people.
not go to Ukraine in the middle of the bombing and rockets to talk about if you can't think about not talk about and then the rocket they stop suddenly. So this is definitely delusional, and they are pretending to be spiritual because they
Pretend
are just shooting a
exactly.
video. I don't even want to even waste my time to listen certainly nonsense. Okay, I mean we have to anticipate always to detect these new Hitlers because there will be always Hitlers because again the
Exactly.
darkness is part of us. Everybody can be a Hitler inside of us if the entity choose our body as container.
Exactly, but Ephesians, see, if the world just says, well, my life is comfortable, Ukraine is somewhere far away, I have no idea what this country is all about,
Right.
anyways, that neutrality gives them a yes, continue your agenda 2023 or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Continue with it. These people agree. Because when you don't give any voices, to them, don't do anything physically in the physical artificially designed reality, then they take it as a yes. Hey, and Putin actually had an idea to take over Baltic countries, to take over, actually Medvedev wrote it on his post. Next, they're going to be Moldova, Kazakhstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. Poland belongs to Russia also. Look at the history, and all this. Excuse me, you know what I mean? Because that's the country of Draco reptilian uh, monarchy, which, how do they live? Through expansion. They need to expand, capture more territories, torture more people, get more of that energy of people being in pain and being tortured, feed themselves up, get stronger and expand more and more. And but by the time I mean, the whole planet is going to be taken over by them. They'll make it to America. Do you think when they take a new country, they take new technologies? When they take new technologies, they will have submarines and stuff. They can go across the oceans to America too. By the way, people, it just takes time. Okay.
I wanted to introduce a great man that he left us. For me, he was a legend, amazing man. I want, if it's possible, that you can channel with him now what
Mm-hmm.
he's thinking, and it's Michael Gorbachev. That is for me. I can't say that this man was for me was so immense. It is such a great thing to the humanity, to his Russian people. He gave them freedom. And now look what is happening again. I have a few questions, but a first channel with him, darling, and talking with his voice, and tell me what is the message that you want to tell us now that she passed at the age of 91 years old. I would like to say thank you. Please tell him I'm really, it was part of my life. It was a big honor that I I witnessed basically the end of Soviet Union, and he wanted to do the right thing, put democracy, and then we have Putler. So
He's sitting on this relaxed stool in a checkered shirt and dark gray pants, and he's like holding his head. And when I asked him, is it okay to ask him questions? He said, yeah, I can give you an interview.
thank
I'm
you.
just embarrassed about the country I loved so much. We had great people, but they all left. Mafia. The country's taken by the mafia group. And that's not what I wanted to build when I was a president there. He's showing me some large territories. It's kind of like a screen in a way, holographic.
Mhm.
He goes with his hands and he shows me large territories of a lot of trees cut north of Russia. He said they even selling off trees, and we don't have enough trees to make our own paper. We don't have technology to bleach it. We don't have anything. Everything is stolen and exists on the bank accounts of the mafia group people that is controlled by the main spider. He's a black spider.
Hmm.
That's who is in charge of. Well, he basically calls Putin a black spider. Because you know how I see him? I see him with the Putin's head, and I see like the legs, and legs are connected to different marionettes people, and they're all in different countries. France, Germany, all this.
Okay, can I ask Mr. Gorbachev what was his relationship with the spider? I mean, what happened to Michael Gorbachev after? I mean, obviously he retired. We know that yes, he was 91 years old. What did Putin try to hurt him? There was any connection, any conversation, or any advice that he tried to give to this spider?
He said he wanted to make me go. He said a few times. He wanted to make me go, and he succeeded.
Uh,
Slow motion plan, something was in action.
Do you think? I mean, is about his the part? You mean his sudden his
It
death?
wasn't a natural. No.
Why? There was any plan to him to speak to talk? Was anything in plan?
I don't understand what it is, but it's like a needle inside a needle inside a needle that stretches out. It's metallic, and it goes. You know how the heart, the main arteria or vein there, he had that stretched metallic stick in that artery, and that
Okay.
artery could be influenced by some machines.
It's very strange that he died now in the middle of conflict, Michael Gorbachev. So I would like to ask him if Putin really hated him, because Gorbachev is the symbol of the democracy, of freedom. And Putler is definitely fascism, Nazi, is totalitarian, which Gorbachev was against all this. He didn't gain anything of to be a president that he can have a full power, but no, he basically finally recognize, Soviet Union as a free country, democratic, no more communist.
He says about 40% of people support Putin. 40% of people, mostly older generations, supporting him 100%, and they totally want to go back to Soviet Union because they want to be able to capture territory of Ukraine. Very good soil, very rich, beautiful little villages, clean, and they would get everything for free because people would either leave or be killed, and they would just take off over apartments and hatas, the houses of Ukrainian villages, much like they did it in Crimea when they took over apartments that belonged to other people and started living in them for free. All
Mm-hmm.
these 8 years. The expansion is real. That's what they want. They want to capture more resources because if you squeeze an apple and get all the juice out of an apple, then an apple doesn't exist anymore. So the parasites who suck the juice out of the apple, which is Putin's mafia group, need to grab another apple. Another good apple is laying right arm's reach, which is Ukraine. Ukraine's been suppressed historically, and they didn't believe that the army was good enough. They thought that Zelensky would just give up, but Zelensky is a representative of a second row of those Jewish people, as you call them, sono sottomessi.
Yeah,
They
they are basically forced to.
they are under. Zelensky is not the first blood group of people of Jewish people genetically modified to be controlling the world. He's under that group, and that group is trying hard to control him. And it's kind of like he's telling me the story, and I'll try to. It's a lot of information. So he told me right away that imagine there's a big group of bad people, but one of the children is a very good child, and he's against that group of bad people of his parents, and he goes helps people instead of torturing them like the other members of his family do. That's who Zelensky is. he's
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like he's very smart, and by being smart and analytical, he understood he does not want to belong to the group of those Jews who control the world. He wants to prove to the world that you can be different. No
Mm-hmm.
matter in what group you are, you can connect to your soul and be different. But he was pressured a lot. I see, like, he was literally in chains before the war started. He couldn't move much, he couldn't do much. And the chains lead all the way to Kremlin because they were cutting off every single way he would try to reach somebody to get help or to provide something for Ukraine. The chains will be pulled more and more. It's kind of like that because he says the biggest advantage this war brought already to Ukraine, you cleansed your country from Russian machine that spoiled and ruined your reputation due to its corruption. The Russian figures were corrupting your country. Those Russian figures are taken out of your country now. Thanks to the war, they became very visible. There's still a few left, but most are taken out, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. What about the accusations to many people that they're saying that Zelensky is the Muppet of, the Americans, from Biden.
He's not a mop. He's not a Muppet. It just America always wanted to destroy the reptile, kind of like Draco, Black Draco family. It's called a Royal Black Draco family because there's different species standing behind America. There are also some reptile species, but they're different. There are some albino species also, and they work more with the humanoid forms. Russia was been always like a Draco oriented and controlled. So there was always a war between Russia and America, United States of America. And United States of America knew that the Russia would try to first to weaken Europe, attack Europe, weaken Europe, and then get to the United States. Because it's a war in between alien groups. That's all it is. They Zelensky is just being helped because the alien group behind Biden understands if Ukraine doesn't win the war, they would go further. The Europe gets, and then a lot of European countries are also, in a way, poisoned by the Russian propaganda, and they would go and join Russia, like Hungary. Hungary, he says 98% they would join Russia. And because that's how this world is, the model of this world is people always stand on the side of the one who is the strongest. If
Yeah, of course.
Ukraine is the strongest, the world will stand with Ukraine. Ukrainian people are very close to the earth, to the ground. They have the roots like trees in the ground. Therefore, they're soft people, they're kind people. And that's one, they're closer to their souls than anybody would think. And Ukrainian people are around, but the world is dominated by draconians, and draconians control a lot of Russians who have properties, who have places, who have groups in each and every country of the world. And if those groups connect and get together, and if Russia wins, the the world would be dominated by the dark cloud called Draconian Empire. That's what would happen. People should understand the Ukraine is literally destroying the Draconian Empire, which is a step one in destroying this darkness, this metallic domes over Earth that are multiplied over the ages by Draconian Empire to keep the souls on the plate undercover and keep reusing them. If you destroy Draconians, you will weaken the other parasitic alien groups, and the human soul at the end will win this fight.
Okay, so do you think? If what you can see now, Gorbachev on his way, what is the Russia position is right now? Is still are they still very powerful, like they says, because they have a lot storage of gas, they have money, they have gold. It's true that they can still living without West.
I see the China is stepping away from them. China doesn't want to deal with them anymore.
China.
China, Mr. C or whatever his name is, the president of China. He was always in between Russia and the United States, but the United States gives China more money, more investments. So they're more interested in dealing with the USA rather than Russia. China has a plan to take back some Russian territory. I see, I for some reason I see, like I've never seen Mongolia before, but it lit up like Mongolia and like there's mountains, gotta be mountains because I see mountains there and they're long, 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 long. And so Mongolia also, there's something about those mountains and Mongolian territory that some of this was taken by Russia and it needs to go back. A lot of countries are secretly hoping and supporting Ukraine even in secret, sending more weapons than they say, for instance, giving more money than they say, because if Russian draconian empire falls, then there could be justice. There could be some things taken by Russia through expansion to them could be given back to those countries they took it from.
Okay. To finish, where Mr. Gorbachev, you want to come back in the human, container, or is done with this world?
He says, no, I'll be on an observation deck right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like, there's a dome. Under the dome, there's multiple domes. And he's like in this space in between the big dome and the small domes because there's different platforms. They belong to different, I want to say parties of aliens, let's say, different alien groups. He just created his little platform and he's sitting this on taburet, I want to say like three-legged stool, and he's watching. And he said he was okay with going, but he said there is a huge collider system under the Lenin's mausoleum, under the Kremlin. It's right there. He says it's basically the plates of that spin always in different directions and create very powerful electromagnetic field that supposedly protects and controls the people of Russia who's ever been in power, even those who are good ones like me. He said they always try to do surgery on your heart or on one part of your body and infuse this little metallic stick, which is in reality is antenna, a receiver. They can send through collider under Lenin's mausoleum a signal, and it can give you a heart attack and can give you a lot of possible crazy things, problems with your body. In my case, he said it was also something about the water retention, kidneys failing due to that impulse thing. That's what he said.
Okay, all right. So, yes, we are in a very, what can I say, difficult moment of our lives, because what we always talk about for years and years is happening, a nuclear war. So my final question here is for today: is this nuclear war is possible in this reality?
He said no right away, but he also told me that their plan, the agenda would be to create multiple wars at different parts of the world because of attention when Ukraine is done and wins, they'll have to take attention away to yet another disaster happening. So there'll be a series of non-stop. He said, it's like you dug up a hole and the bombs are coming onto you, but you have to have believe in yourself and kind of live through it. He said those who will live through it will create a better world. A better world can always only be created by destroying the artificially designed world. Most people will go to metaverse, to the artificially designed universe. That is like, he says, it's like a drop of water connected to the universe you're in right now. That's why the symbol of 8 is like 2 droplets of water. That's how he describes them. Each droplet of water is a chemical formula that contains, it's like a container for souls. Artificial souls will go to metaverse. There's a lot of artificial souls. You have to be, he says 15 real souls. He said it's less than 20. It's 15 only. Most people you deal with in your life do not even have a soul or have layered. It's like aluminum layered kind of bowl that takes that spot where soul is supposed to reside, and each layer is produces a wave through technology. It's usually low vibrational waves that can be manipulated from a distance, from Saturn, from Moon, from Mars, from Jupiter, from other alien bases. It depends where this device is connected to.
So, I just read today, Mr. Gorbachev. I'll let you go now because, Sana must be a bit tired. But today I read in the news about, the telescope Weber apparently is so strong, this telescope, that it can see other universes. Apparently, they find out there is a planet that is basically the distance is 385 years of light from our, lunar and system, yes, in our universe. So this planet is like, I don't remember how many times bigger than the planet Earth. Is massive, absolutely massive. So all these aliens, they come from, or other beings, they come from that universe, and we are just a small universe, or a completely fake one.
We are completely fake universe.
Okay.
Totally designed by AI technology, who use the all the steps how to create a natural biological universe taken from our soul's knowledge, memories, wisdom, experience, and they twisted and turned it into their favor. And they literally, he says, they squeeze our souls into human body. They make us suffer right from the beginning of the process when the baby gets a soul. It's a painful process. Nobody talks about it.
Wow.
That's why every baby has to cry. First of all, it symbolizes that he's going to be crying throughout the life because it's a life of suffering by design. And second of all, it's a cry of a soul. A soul does not want to be born in a human body container that is really artificial design container that is very hard to control and very hard to connect to.
So, because we are souls, so we are kidnapped.
We are taken by force. Everything is by force here.
It's not a choice.
You think you have a choice, but it's by force. By force, you have to have a house or apartment. By force, you have to make money to live. By force, everything is like that. You have to comply with the law. By force, you have to choose in dualistic two parties, Democratic or Republicans. Everything is not really your choice.
So it's true that we are food then.
We are totally just little light bulbs in a dark sack that's supposed to light up the dark sack, so they can take your light and create some fake games on here, some levels of the game that you can take over and over and over again, different levels. As long as they keep you in the sack busy, that's the idea. Keep you busy, keep you surviving, keep you struggling, keep you giving off more of that low vibrational energy needed to support the artificially designed universe. So,
Okay. So I would like to say thank you to Mr. Gorbachev, and we let him go, and we're going to send him to his best, place where he really wants. He decided on his own where he wants to be, and yes, maybe we can talk with him another time just to have a more, maybe a few tips if there will be big energy, because definitely he was a massive energy soul that he did something completely against the program. He did something, it was unique.
he was not supposed to come. That's why he was marked at the spaceship.
Yeah, so there are probably some, people that even if they are kidnapped or they allow them to be kidnapped to be part of, let's say, a mission. Probably he was a sabotager in a good way, in a positive way. So,
Right. Yeah, a lot of us decide to sabotage because the only way out is to sabotage the system. The only way out is to fight it and not being scared of not getting enough attention, not getting enough materialistic stuff, because that's the only way out. That's what
amazing.
he said.
Okay, so we're going to give him the way back home and to report to where to the east to the source where we come from. I believe that we are a source unique. We come from the same the soul that was we created. I know many souls they are manipulated with different DNA, but I talking about our real essence. Okay, so to come back where is come from to in order that he can report everything. And I know he has with him a lot of stuff. He has a lot of information. Is elements here to be even more stronger. Okay,
He
against
he he
this.
he came. Oh, sorry, I interrupt before I forget. I
So,
see ORGUS Orgus /4 system that he comes from. It's a he says that we are kind of like universal travelers. We travel from universe to universe, absorb. He said, in a way, even in natural universe, it runs by a program, but it runs by a natural biological program designed by biological souls. And they basically check whether the program is not interfered and not hijacked by some other creators who would turn it, because each program has a purpose, a goal to accomplish, and the goal is a progress and to see how certain bodies the soul creates by thinking and making it alive through thought, how it behaves and acts, and how much fun it has, how much information and experience it can get in certain reality created by the same very soul. But he said realities are collective creation. universes are collective creation. Planets and stars are not necessarily collectively created. One soul is capable of creating a planet,
Mm-hmm.
a star. One soul is also capable of creating a universe, but that becomes more complicated than whom you are creating it for and how you would organize the process of accepting other souls, co-creators, to get experience by living in your universe, because they might interfere with you if you're the only creator of your own universe. So
Okay, makes sense.
he's just he says we're making a difference because out of 15% life souls, there are about 7.1 that are making a difference. Do your own calculations. We're almost there.
Okay. All right. So, um, yes, I'm very grateful and thankful for this interview with this great man that he was in this life. And now, obviously, he's coming back where he's come from. I will really send all me and my Oksana, all our energy to allow you to give the light to your way back where you come from and to make sure things are different for the people that is still here, and trying to carry on to be sabotagers in a positive way. So thank you, Mr. Gorbachev, and yes, Oksana, when I want come back. Uh,
Yeah, if he's I saw it's like a board game when you play with kids and they're just flatly, you know how you draw a picture, it's flat. That's how we live. Everything looks flat. It's an illusion that the buildings are up. I almost feel like everything is flat on the sheet of paper and they just designed it. They put some programs and by making dots and there's so many fake figures. There's so many figures that also came here to help, but were replaced by clones. Were replaced by totally, absolutely fake figures with fake programs.
mhm.
So you can never really know what's going to happen to the good person. You know that he or she is good now, tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So this is why I still have, I always for definitive or many theories and concepts, I I always know that we are in a fake reality, but not completely, because if are still people like us that they have a brain to understand that it's fake,
The
uh,
universe is fake. It's
that
I saw like, if you take a circle, a sphere, split it into black color, white color, and then you glue them together. That's how they artificially design our universe. So there's always going to be a force that is pro darkness and pro
mm-hmm,
light. It's artificial concept. It does not exist in you when you lose your physical body. You don't feel like there is good or bad. You're always you have experience to discern, but at the core of a soul, you're very childlike. You just want to be happy and experience fun places.
mm-hmm, it's true. But sometimes it reminds me, like, big painting, when you check this painting, and then somebody slash the paint with a knife, and you can put the nose, you can say, oh, that was just a picture, and you
Yeah,
can, with your nose, you can see, it's like, what? And it's like, when you see the reality, like Truman Show.
yeah, exactly. That's how it is. It's just wild that because of our body and perception is so real, we think it's real, but it's not. It's simply because of this. This is like a computer. Head is like a computer. Processor processes, makes you feel it hard, as opposed, because we are very low vibration. Our bodies are in low vibration already.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about when your soul, for me, takes over the physical body. That's when you can consider yourself in high vibration. You can consider yourself 5, 6D, whatever, but your body will still belong to the 3D because it's attached like a roots of the tree to the surface of the 3D carousel
Mm-hmm.
floor. You know what I mean? No matter how high you jump, there's gonna be a dome there, and you like bang, because you're still in the body. You will bang your head unless your body dies, and you can, oh, I can get through this dome, no problem now. I'm not banging my head anymore because you don't resonate with that frequency of the dome anymore. So you're thinner. You become like air going through a cloud. You can get through it easily.
In the 80s, I used to watch these Japanese cartoons that was
Mm-hmm.
very popular. I completely taken me completely out of my of the reality, of our reality. I was a child, and the cartoon talk about these robots, massive robots that they fight against the aliens from other planets. Was one was Mazinga, and one was Goldrake.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, a human was inside of the head of the robot, a control. It was like a pilot, that you when the way you control a plane or what can I say? This very very powerful planes or helicopters, but this was a massive robot, and they can pilot the pilots, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what we are. We are in this obviously robots, but it's container body, and you can decide to be nice, but you are still a danger. You can be danger for the society, for the others. Even if you are trying to protect others, you still are a danger. So it's not, it was nothing good. Okay, but for
Yeah.
us, this is my superhero. Yeah, for about. This is what and I remember I was always finding this massive, and I was definitely that one that erased all my memory when I was a little girl. My mom, when she says, until I was 4 years old, I was talking always with my grandma,
Mm.
and she then the good thing is despite my mom she come from a very old-fashioned reality. Uh, her parents, they never treated her like she was a freak or she was playing around. They respected
Mm-hmm.
her. But then she says, then I started to help in the family. I was very 6 years old. I was already look after my other brothers and sisters. I
Mm-hmm.
was cleaning at year 6. I
I
didn't take
know.
more time to have a conversation with grandma or other beings. But until the age of 45 years old, my mom, she saw dead people. She saw souls. She saw entities. Then one day she says, because every time she received a message was it came true but was always bad, and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want it anymore. Something happened to her. I think my mom, she was abducted when she was a child, but the grandma was real. The grandma would try to protect my mom, and her grandma protect me
Mm-hmm.
to disappear because she told me a dream about me and my little neighbor that they want to take me away for good, my soul, and I was safe. And this was a story that one day I would like to talk about it. This is probably, even if you notice my eye, um, I have my eyes that is a bit moves, tired. And this is when definitely I was fighting when we born. The soul is trying to escape from a really
Mm-hmm.
massive, horrific death, but we just made it. This is why we have the highs are they saw too much. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got that problem when I get tired. My eyes a little bit moved. I'm basically born with the eyes like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
somebody not trying to kill you, you just choke,
right.
and your
Yep.
eyes doing this, and just I escaped time
That's
before.
that's what when I talking to Gorbachev, I saw like a big ship that were trying to implement stick a lot of programs into him, and he literally like escaped from them, and he was still attached to some machine, and that's why it made that on his head there was something, the artificial implant, and he ripped it out, and there was a spot that made
We
that
want to take
imprint.
out, and we will.
Right, that's how powerful we are, but it's always like it starts with a struggle, this life, and for most people ends with it too. And but I believe that the people who are of high understanding and understand how people are all acting on programs, how everything is functioning, you can get out. Because knowledge, and it's the most precious thing you can get in your life, the most precious. Nothing is more precious than this.
Exactly. And again, a reminder that we talked about last week. Remember, guys, to scanning your body. If you need to learn, we're going to explain to you guys how to scan your own body to take out implants. Okay, and hopefully, that because we live in a technological world, we're going to have a small scanner that we can check in our body that we can see if we have a little tiny metal like we have in everybody, that is the sign that we have implants and that we was microchipped. Okay, not necessarily in this world, but even before we born, because we are marked like animals, and that tell
Mm.
us where we belong, which entity, which like in this world of Slavism, okay, with leaders, we are slaves of under all these muppets that work for the entities of the aliens. So you are a reptilian, you are a felinoid, you are a reptiloid, you are what you call a mantis, insectoids. So we come from because we are slave. We are sent here as a food. So when we need to take off this crap, sorry for my language, from our body, you can do using your energy, scan hands, or using this I call metal detector scanner, body scanner, to check where, in which organ or part of our body, in tissues, lymphatic system, muscles, where
Mm.
is the implant. Okay, that determine why you was suffering, why you are depressed, why you are always dependable of something, of drugs, of pills, alcohol, because life is heavy. So when we take everything, when then we clean completely our body, which because it's our container, then your mind is starting to definitely to take control and to be online with body, mind, soul, and spirit. That is our goal. And this is when we get out from the matrix, when before we leave this container. Because it's like we have all the information, but we can't take with us because they erase all the information in order that all the work we did, hard work, then will be completely useless because they erase. So when we know, when we have about to leave this container, how to avoid to be erased and bring with us back all the information for the next experience, this is when we are free. And this is what
Yep.
Gorbachev said. Okay, so thank you again. Fantastic chat with you like usual.
Thanks.
And we're going to speak with you very soon. I had to start a session in a bit. And thank you again. And thank you for all the people
Thank
that
you.
to watch us. We are a small community, but doesn't matter. Even few people make the difference. So thank you. Bless you all.
Thank
Ciao,
you.
Bella. Stay with
Bye. Ciao, ciao.